This is probably going to be the most personal video that I have made so far, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But the reason why I am saying these things is because it will help break people out of things they've been going through. I really want you to follow me from beginning to end on this one. You know, we're really stupid. We're fools. We are. The reason why I say that is because we don't believe in identity. We really don't believe in identity at all. It almost comes across as a myth to us. It's not something that we readily think about as existing or acknowledge as existing. And we don't even do it deliberately. It's just not something that we automatically feel has anything to do with anything as we're going through life, making day-to-day decisions. Thinking about who you are as a person or your personality and your identity seems like existential garbage or some mystical self-reflection stuff that you do on your day off, but not when you're trying to get things done during the day. Do that on your own time. It has nothing to do with life. And this method of thinking is stupid. It's what causes our self-destruction. Keep following me. See, we're consumers by nature, and our society, because of capitalism, hyper-focused on that part of our nature and cultivated it to a point where now consumerism is the default computer that our mind thinks with. From birth, we become natural consumers. So now everything we think about life is played on the backdrop of consumption. Everything is either results or no results, success or failure, have or have not. You're either in possession of something or you're not. So if you go to ask somebody why they're upset about something or why they're unhappy with a particular situation, they're going to tell you something on the lines of, it's because something is not working the way I thought it was going to work. And the belief is, I would be happy if this situation was successful. It wouldn't be hurting as much if it was successful, if it was working the way I thought it was going to work. The reason why it hurts so much is because it's not successful, but that is not really the reason why it hurts at all. I will explain to you why it hurts. Every last one of us has been in a situation where we were trying our hardest to make something work, and no matter what we did, we could not make this situation work, and we were wondering why. And the reason why we can't figure out why it's not working is because we were never taught to factor in our personalities and our identities when making a decision. The reason why everyone has an individual personality is because everyone has a damn psyche. You have a psychological part of your being that is responsible for your emotional and mental states, or as my Christian brothers and sisters like to call it, a spirit. And your psyche, that psychological part of your being, your makeup, is responsible for how you interpret things, how you see the world around you, how you feel about things, what you place emphasis on, what you place value in. So our psyches create individual personalities in each and every one of us because our psychological being interprets things about the world differently. Go read the comment section on any one of your favorite videos and see how differently people feel about the exact same topic. We're all different because we have psychological parts of our being. What this means is there is not a single solitary person on the face of this earth who is built to deal with every different kind of personality or every different trait that something or someone might come with. There are things that you hate about someone that another person might love about them, that might make them a perfect connection to them. Everyone is not built to handle everyone. So the reason why I try my hardest to make a certain situation work and it still fails is because depending on who I'm connected to, even when I'm doing exactly what it takes to make it work, the style in which I do it depends on what about myself I am violating, giving up, or muting in order to perform those duties. And that depends on who or what I'm connected to. That depends on who I'm trying to do those duties for, because their personality requires me to mute or ignore different parts of myself. Different personalities cause you to adjust different parts of your own personality in order to be connected to that thing. And so the reason why I hesitated to do it the way you were asking me to do it, or even the way I knew you wanted me to do it, is because in doing so, I would have destroyed the thing I needed in the situation to feel like you cared about me. So whether or not you knew it, what you were asking me to do was to be able to exist in a situation without knowing or feeling like you loved me. Because how you were requiring me to do it would have destroyed the thing I needed in order to feel loved in a situation based on my personality. But what we're taught is, no, you do whatever it takes to make a situation work. Because even if the things you have to do completely empty the situation of all of its content, the fact that it's successful should replace the emptiness of the situation. What you should want is a situation working out. And if there's a part of you that interrupts a particular situation working out, you don't have the wrong thing. Your personality is the thing that's wrong. Your psyche is the thing that's wrong. It doesn't matter how someone treats you, how they disrespect you, if he womanizes you or if she emasculates you. It doesn't matter if they're cheating on you. None of that matters. If you can't lick your wounds and nurse yourself on the fact that the situation is still together and still functioning, you're the problem. So no matter what happens, I'm supposed to still try to make the situation work, because I'm supposed to nurse myself on the fact that the situation is still together, even after emptying the situation completely of anything that made me feel like I belonged in it, because it working, the success of the situation, is more important than who I am as a person. So the situation being emptied of anything that made me feel like I was actually supposed to be there should not matter if it works. I should think I won. And the problem is, because we are not taught to acknowledge that we have a psychological well-being, we have an identity, because we're taught that these things are just existential, self-reflecting garbage you do on your day off, because we are taught that this does not factor in to your everyday living, then when things start going wrong, we feel like we've done everything we could to make it work, because what are you saying? I got rid of parts of me that were in the way. So we feel needless feelings of failure to situations that we shouldn't feel failure to, because they should have never existed in the first place. In January of this year, 2025, my ex-wife, the mother of my kids, took her own life. We were married for 10 years. We were divorced for 5. And during those 5 years, she got remarried to someone else, and that marriage ended in divorce as well. In order to keep her from being homeless, I provided for her a place to stay and tried to help her get back on her feet. And even during that period of time, we still couldn't get along. But she couldn't take the feelings of repeated failures in her life. She couldn't handle it. And so of January of this year, she took herself out. Here's what I'm saying. She had needless feelings of failure that I also take accountability for as far as our marriage, because about halfway through the marriage, I realized that we shouldn't have been together. But I was determined to make it work, because we'd already made the decision to say I do, regardless of me and her coming to the conclusion that this was not something that we should have done. We kept emptying ourselves out to make the situation work. And I can hear people in the comment section right now talking about, well, that's you guys' problem, because you should have put duty first and forget how you felt about everything. Shut the hell up, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. This ideology that psychological states don't exist, or that emotions and mentalities don't exist, and everyone in the world can endure anything that anybody comes with. There's no such thing as an emotional or psychological being. It's just about duty. Explain to me how in the world that's going to ultimately play out in a society. How is that going to work? Or are we all of a sudden going to start walking around and everybody's going to be wearing just a white shirt and black pants, and we're going to be marching in complete unison, and everyone's going to go to work, clock in, punch, leave, robotic living from here on out? Tell me how that dumb stuff is going to work. It's not going to. She had needless feelings of failure because the situations that she was involved in, the marriages that she was involved in, ours included, they shouldn't have existed. She was with the wrong people. I was the wrong person. We were not right for each other. Neither was her second partner. But we were taught that anything you can get your hands on, as long as there's nothing legalistically wrong with it, then you should be making it work, not realizing that that does not work. It doesn't work, because since everybody is an individual, you get emptied of different things depending on who you're connected to. So now you have these feelings of failure that you shouldn't have, because the situation should have never existed in the first place. And it wouldn't if you acknowledge that as an individual, even if you can get your hands on something, you shouldn't. Her life was worth much more than our marriage. It was worth more than her second marriage. She was a human being, and her life had value regardless of whether or not we worked out. And I can't base whether or not she lived or died on how things went between us. And if I had acknowledged, if either one of us had acknowledged that we were both individuals, unique, designed individuals by our Creator, we would have understood that we did not need to be together. We didn't need to be connected to each other.